Good morning everybody. Myself Vishvendra, I am the founder of Optimal Success Trajectory. Today I am before you to give you some tricks on differentiation. So if we know that standard differentiation of x to power n where n is constant, this is nx raised to power n minus 1. So if instead of x we have a function of x, let's suppose that u here is a function of x. Function means it contains x. And there are certain mathematical definition of a function. Function is a relation between two sets A and B, where corresponding to one element of set A, there is exactly one element in set B. There may be more than one, but for one element there is a one element in set B. But we are restricting our domains to simple cases of mathematical tools. So in general we can say that if any expression involves x, it's a function of x. So in that case the differentiation is same, nu raised to power n minus 1. You just need to differentiate u again, differentiate the function again. This is also called the chain rule. Let's take the next example. It's d by dx of e raised to power x. So if we have u, then the expression would be e raised to power u into du by dx. Next case, differentiation a raised to power x. This is a raised to power x log a base e. So if we have u, then expression will be a raised to power u log a base e du by dx. Another log x base e, we have differentiation 1 by x. So for log u base e we have differentiation 1 by u du by dx. Log x base e we have expression 1 by x log a base e. So log u base e we have 1 by u log a base e du by dx. Sin x as cos x, and if we have sin u, then differentiation would be cos u into du by dx. This is a simple trick in which you can solve your questions quickly. Hope these tricks will work for you. Thank you and have a nice day. Good morning everybody. Myself Vishvendra. I am the founder of Optimal Success Trajectory. Today we shall discuss about cross product of vectors. So cross product is represented by the single cross. Let's assume that we have two vectors, vector A and vector B. Then their cross product vector C is defined by vector C is equal to A cross B, which is equal to AB sin theta into n cap. So the magnitude of this vector can be written as AB into mod of sin theta. We will analyze in terms of geometrical aspect and in terms of mathematical aspect. So geometrical aspect, let's assume that this is vector A and this is vector B, and these are inclined to each other at an angle of theta. So if this is A, then that side will be A sin theta, which I can name as A perpendicular. So C can be written as AB mod sin theta. This can be written as A mod sin theta into B, and this A mod sin theta I have taken as A perpendicular. So for finding the cross product, you can use this concept that the cross product is a magnitude of one vector and projection of another vector perpendicular to that vector. In another case, we can also say that this is AB mod sin theta. You draw a perpendicular on the line of action of A, and this side will be equal to B sin theta, which I can take as B perpendicular. So C can also be written as A into B perpendicular. That is, you take the product of one of the vector, the magnitude of one of the vector, and multiply that by projection of another vector perpendicular to the first vector. In this way you can solve your questions quickly. Let's take the example of the mathematical aspect. Suppose vector A is a1 I k plus a2 j k plus a3 k k. Vector B is b1 I k plus b2 j k plus b3 k k. So A cross B can be written by in terms of the determinant I j k, a1 a2 a3, b1 b2 b3, and you know that determinant can be opened as I cap a2 b3 minus b2 a3 minus j cap a1 b3 minus b1 a3 plus k cap a1 b2 minus b1 a2. So in this way you can solve your questions quickly. So whatever information you have stored in your mind, make sure you store that in a format which is of use to you, in which you can retrieve when it is desired. Most of the students fail in competitive exams because the information stored in their mind is not retrievable. They are not able to retrieve that information. That's why they fail to solve their questions. So manage your processes of mind and end up with flying colors. Thank you and have a nice day.
मॉर्निंग एवरीबॉडी, माई सेल्फ विश्वेंद्र, द फाउंडर ऑफ ऑप्टिमल सक्सेस ट्रैजेक्टरी। आज आपसे क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट की मैग्नीट्यूड के बारे में कुछ डिस्कशन करूंगा। तो मान लीजिए कि आपको a क्रॉस b वेक्टर दिया हुआ है, a क्रॉस b होता है ab sin थीटा इनटू n कैप, तो इसका जो मैग्नीट्यूड आएगा दैट विल बी ab मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ sin थीटा। तो हम देखेंगे कि ये मैग्नीट्यूड किस कंडीशन में मैक्सिमम होगा और किस कंडीशन में मिनिमम होगा। तो ये मैग्नीट्यूड मैक्सिमम तब होगा जब sin थीटा का मैग्नीट्यूड मैक्सिमम होगा, and we know that it's maximum when theta is equal to 90 degree or pi by 2 radians. So it has got maximum value when theta is equal to 90, and it has got minimum value when sin theta is minimum, and the maximum value C max will be AB and C minimum will be minus of AB. Sorry, it will be 0. You can also see it from the graph. If you draw the graph representing magnitude of mode A cross B, then graph will be like that. So in this way you can easily remember the results. So do remember whatever you learn, make sure you learn in a systematic and planned way so that you are able to retrieve it as and when needed. Most of the students fails in competitive exams because they are not able to retrieve the information when they appear for the test. So make sure your memory based systems, your information systems is the best. You must practice again and again to retrieve the information which you learned, and nobody can stop you from ending up in flying colors. Thank you and have a nice day. Good morning everybody, myself Vishvendra, I am the founder of Optimal Success Trajectory. Today I will discuss about binomial theorem. So the binomial theorem states that 1 plus x raised to power n can be reduced to this form: 1 plus nx plus n minus 1 by 2 x square plus so on up to infinity. And for a very special case, when x is very small, so for x very small, approximately equal to 0, we can neglect the higher powers, and 1 plus x की power n can be approximated by 1 plus nx. We have two examples. The first is 1.0001 raised to power 6. It can be written as 1 plus 0.0001 raised to power 6. So it can be written as 1 plus 6 into 0.0001, which can be approximated by 1.0006. Next is 0.9998 raised to power 7. It can be written as 1 minus 0.0002 raised to power 7, which can be approximated by 0.9986. Binomial theorem is of very useful nature in solving questions, basically from radioactivity, or it finds use in certain expression of decay questions. So if you know this trick, if you know the approximations, then you can solve your questions quickly. Thank you and have a nice day. Good morning everybody, myself Vishvendra, I am the founder of Optimal Success Trajectory. Today I will discuss some questions on mechanics. So the question says that there are two edges ABB and ACB. They are placed on a smooth surface, and forces 3F and F are acting on the system of wedges as shown in the figure. And we need to find the acceleration of system and the normal reaction between ABC and ABD. So as I have already told you that your mind must follow certain steps. The first step is a silent mind, second is idea, third is information, and fourth is calculation. Any sharp student who scores very good marks in your test, he has learned to synchronize these 4 steps by continuous working. So you can also do that. Follow the process of learning, the process of solving questions, and you can also have good problem solving skills. Follow the steps. The first is a silent mind. So be silent for 10 seconds. Let's work on the idea. The idea is how to find acceleration from forces, and the second idea is how to find normal reactions. Now your mind will search for certain informations. We know that net force on a system is mass of system into acceleration, and for finding normal reactions we need to use the resolution of vectors in horizontal and vertical directions. So let's start with the calculations. So the total mass of the system will be 3m, force F towards right, 3F towards left. Obviously 3F is greater than F, so the blocks will move towards left. So we can say that minus 3F plus F is equal to minus 3m into A.
By sign convention I have used is that towards right it is positive and towards left it is negative. So I have written minus 3f because it is acting towards left, and I have written plus f because it is acting towards right. Similarly, I have written minus a because acceleration is also towards left. So it gives you the magnitude of acceleration as 2f by 3a. So if we see here, then since if we draw the forces on the interface AB, so acceleration is towards left. So this part ACB, certainly it is being pulled towards left. So this part will apply force on this part in in like that direction, because since it's moving towards left, so it will stop it. So certainly it will apply a force on this towards this direction. I repeat it, part ABC will move towards left. So here it will apply force on this body in this direction, as I have drawn by the vector. So if we resolve this n force, so we can resolve it into horizontal and vertical components as n cos 45 and n sin 45. If we plot the graphs acting along x-axis, we can say f will be towards right and n sin 45 towards left, and this is accelerating towards left. Using the proper sign conventions, I can say that f minus n sin 45 is minus of ma. Obviously, right positive and left negative sign convention we have used. So we have f minus n by root 2 is minus of ma. Substituting the value of acceleration, we have n is equal to 5 root 2 f by 3. And acceleration was 2f by 3m. So if m is constant, then acceleration will be proportional to f. And if f is constant, acceleration proportional to 1 by m. So graph between acceleration and force will be a straight line, and acceleration and mass will be a rectangular. So you have seen that the entire skills of problem solving revolves around 4 steps: silent mind, idea, information and calculations. Follow these 4 steps. Learn in steps. Nobody will tell you the secrets of being sharp in problem solving skills. I am decoding the secrets for those, because I myself struggled a lot in decoding the secrets. What is it that differentiates between a good student and a bad student? It's just the processes of mind. Just work on your processes. You can also top in exams. You can also have sharp problem solving skills. Thank you and have a nice day.
Good morning everybody, myself Vishvendra, the founder of Optimal Success Trajectory. Today we will discuss about some graphs of SHM, simple harmonic motion. We have assumed that the phase is 0, initial phase is 0, so the particle started from origin. We have 3 things in SHM: position, velocity and acceleration. Let's suppose position is x is equal to a sin omega t. So the graph will be a sine graph, as you can see over there. Here t is the time period, which is the time period of SHM, which is equal to 2 pi by omega. Velocity is differentiating that, so you will get a omega cos omega t, and acceleration as minus omega square a sin omega t. So the graph of velocity will be a cosine curve. You can easily draw that. The graph of acceleration will be a negative of sine curve. This will just take reflection about the t-axis. There is one important relation. If we square this term, we will get v square is a square omega square cos square omega t. Now cos square omega t can be written as 1 minus sine square omega t. So we have v square is a square omega square minus a square omega square sine square omega t. So a square sine square omega t is x square. So we have the relation v square plus omega square x square is a square omega square, and this is the equation of an ellipse. So the position and velocity graph will be an ellipse. So in this way you can draw the graphs and solve your questions quickly. So whatever you learn, you must learn them in a proper system, in an interconnected way. This is called spider map methods, and it helps you to retain information in a very effective way. So the difference between a successful and unsuccessful student is in the process executed by their mind. Successful students use memory maps, memory techniques, NLP, neurological techniques. So there are a lot of techniques, and you must learn in accordance with the techniques so that you are able to retain that information for a much longer time, and you are able to retrieve the desired information during your test papers. So just to remember, your mind is a machine. You just know how it performs the best, how it functions better. So whatever information you have learned, make sure it is learned in a systematic and interrelated way. Only then you will be able to retrieve it effectively. Thank you and have a nice day. Myself Vishvendra, I am the founder of Optimal Success Trajectory. Let's discuss a mechanics question. We are being given a pulley and a block. The block is connected to the pulley, and the center of pulley has coordinates 0, y with respect to a coordinate axis, and y is given to be a function of time, it's 40 cube. We need to find the VT graph of the block and the AT graph of the block. So let's start with the processes. The first is a silent mind, then idea, then information, and then calculations. The first is silent mind. Now let's work on the idea. So the idea is that how velocity of the block is related to y, and the second, how acceleration of the block is related to y. After the idea, we need to search for some information present in the database. The informations which we need to use is, the first is velocity of point P will be dy by dt. The second point, Vp is equal to Va plus Vb by 2 as from constraint relation. The third is acceleration of P is dVp by dt. Fourth is AB is equal to acceleration A plus acceleration B by 2. These are from constraint relations. Let's work on the calculations. So Vp is dy by dt. Just substitute y as 4t cube. So t cube has differentiation 3t square. So you have 4 into 3t square, which is 12t square. Similarly, Vp is Va plus Vb by 2. So Vp we have calculated as 20t square. So from here, Vb is 24t square. It is proportional to t square. So curve will be a parabola. Acceleration of B will be 48t. So if we draw the graph will be a straight line, and tan theta will be 48. If we draw the free body diagram of the block, we can see that tensions will be like that. And for the 2 kg block, T is acting in vertically upward direction. The weight will be 20 in downward direction. Acceleration, obviously it will be positive and vertically upward direction because y will increase with time. So using the second equation of motion, we can say that T minus 20 is 2a. So T minus 20 is 2 into 48t. So that gives the tension equation as 20 plus 90, 60. It's a straight line having intercept 20 and the slope as 96, which will be approximately equal to 88 degree angle. So in this way you can solve your question quickly. You have seen my speed, you have seen how I perform, you have seen how I calculate. You can also do the same, given that your process is clear. So work on 4 processes. The first is be silent. The second is generate the idea. Third is retrieve information, and fourth is calculation. Be an expert in these 4 synchronized processes. Manage your internal thoughts, manage your processes of mind, and you can also have a good problem solving skills. Thank you and have a nice day.